Oh, we're back. Do you know what we're reading? Ender's Game. Well, I look kind of funny. That's okay, though. We're reading Ender's Game, okay? And I'm excited. I really like this book. It's kind of funny. I think I'll tell you a story about this when I see you later. I gotta keep reading. He went through the paces of the practices and the games. He liked teaching the boys in his tune, and they followed him loyally. He had the respect of everyone, and he was treated with deference in his evening practices. Commanders came to study what he did. Other soldiers approached his table at mess and asked permission to sit down. Even the teachers were respectful. He had so much damn respect, he wanted to scream. He watched the young kids in Petra's army, fresh out of their launch groups, watch how they played, how they made fun of their leaders when they thought no one was looking. He watched the camaraderie of old friends who had known each other in the battle school for years, who talked and laughed about battles, and long graduated soldiers and commanders. But with his old friends, there was no laughter, no remembering, just work, just intelligence and excitement about the game. Nothing beyond that. Tonight it had come to a head in the evening practice. Ender and Ally were discussing the nuances of open space maneuvers when Shen came up and listened for a few moments. Then suddenly took Ally by the shoulders and shouted, "Nova, Nova, Nova!" Ally burst out laughing. For a moment or two, Ender watched them remember together the battle where open room maneuvering had been for real, and they dodged past the older boys, and suddenly they remembered that Ender was there. "Sorry, Ender," Shen said. "Sorry." "Sorry? For what? Being friends?" "I was there too, you know," Ender said. He doesn't have any friends. Wait, that's so sad. And they apologized again, back to business, back to respect. And Ender realized that in their laughter, in their friendship, had not occurred to them that he could have been included. How good did they think I was part of it? Did I laugh? Did I join in? Just stood there, watching, like a teacher. That's how they think of me too. Teacher, legendary shoulder. Not one of them. Not someone that you embrace and whisper salam in his ear. That only lasted while Ender still seemed a victim. Still seemed vulnerable. Now he was the master soldier, and he was completely, utterly alone. "Feel sorry for yourself, Ender." He typed the words on his desk as he lay on his bunk. "Poor Ender." Then he laughed at himself and cleared away the words. "Not a boy or girl in the school who wouldn't be glad to trade places with me." He called up the fantasy game. He walked, as he often did, through the village that the dwarves had built in the hill, paid by the giant's corpse. It was easy to build sturdy walls with the ribs already curved just right, and enough space between them to leave windows. The whole corpse was cut into apartments, opening it onto the path down the giant's spine. The public amphitheater was carved into the pelvic bone, and the common herd of ponies was pastured between the giant's legs. Ender was never sure what the dwarves were doing as they went about their business, but they left him alone as he picked his way through the village, and in return he did no harm either. He vaulted the pelvic bone at the base of the public square and walked through the pasture. The ponies shied away from him. He did not pursue them. Ender did not understand how the game functioned anymore. In the old days, before he had gone to the end of the world, everything was combat and puzzles to solve. Defeat the enemy before he kills you, or figure out how to get past the obstacle. Now no one attacked. There was no war, and wherever you went, there was no obstacle at all. Except, of course, in the room in the castle at the end of the world. It was the one dangerous place left, and Ender, however often he vowed that he would not, always went back there, always killed the snake, always looked his brother in the face, and always, no matter what he did next, died. It was no different this time. He tried to use the knife on the table to pry through the mortar and pull up a stone from the wall. As soon as he touched the seal of the mortar, water began to gush through the crack, and Ender watched his desk as his figure, now out of his control, struggled madly to stay alive, to keep from drowning. The windows of the room were gone. The water rose and his figure drowned. All the while, the face of Peter Wiggin in the mirror stayed and looked at him. I'm trapped here, Ender thought, trapped at the end of the world with no way out. And he knew at the last sour taste that had come to him, despite all his successes in battle school, it was despair. There were uniformed men at the entrances to the school when Valentine arrived. They weren't standing like guards, but rather slouched almost as if they were waiting for someone inside to finish his business. They wore the uniforms of IF Marines, the same uniforms that everybody saw in bloody combat on the videos. It lent an air of romance to this day at school. All the other kids were excited about it. Valentine was not. It made her think of Ender, for one thing. And for another, it made her afraid someone had recently published a savage commentary in Demosthenes' collected writings. The commentary, and therefore her work, had been discussed in the Open Conference of International Relations then, with some of the most important people of the day attacking and defending Demosthenes. What worried her most was the comment of an Englishman. Whether he likes it or not, Demosthenes cannot remain incognito forever. He has outraged too many wise men and pleased too many fools to hide behind his too appropriate pseudonym much longer. Either he will unmask himself in order to assume leadership of the forces of stupidity he has marshaled, or his enemies will unmask him in order to better understand the disease that he's produced such a warped and twisted mind. Peter had been delighted, but then he would be. Valentine was afraid that enough powerful people had been annoyed by the vicious persona of Demosthenes that she would indeed be tracked down. The IF could do it, even if the American government was constitutionally bound not to. And here were IF troops gathered at Western Guilford Middle School, of all places, not exactly the regular recruiting grounds for the IF Marines. So she was not surprised to find a message marching around her desk as soon as she logged in. Please log off and go to Dr. Lineberry's office at once. Valentine waited nervously outside the principal's office until Dr. Lineberry opened the door and beckoned her inside. Her last doubt was removed when she saw the soft-bellied man of the uniform of an IF colonel sitting in one comfortable chair in the room. "You're Valentine Wiggin," he said. "Yes," she whispered. "I'm Colonel Graff. We've met before." "Before?" When had she had any dealings with the IF? "I've come to talk to you in confidence about your brother." "It's not just me." Then she thought, "They have Peter, or is this something new? Has he done something crazy? I thought he stopped doing crazy things." "Valentine, you seem frightened. There's no reason to be. Please sit down. I assure you that you and your brother as well. He has more fulfilled than our expectations." And now, with a great inward gush of relief, she realized that it was Ender they had come about. This must be the officer who had taken him away. Ender. It wasn't punishment at all. It was little Ender, who had disappeared so long ago, who was no part of Peter's plots now. You were the lucky one, Ender. You got away before Peter could trap you into his conspiracy. How do you feel about your brother, Valentine? Ender? Of course. How can I feel about him? I haven't seen or heard from him since I was 8. Dr. Lineberry, will you excuse us? Lineberry was annoyed. "One second, Dr. Lineberry. I think Valentine and I will have a much more productive conversation if we walk outside, away from the recording devices that your assistant principal has placed in this room." It was the first time Valentine had seen Dr. Lineberry speechless. Colonel Graff lifted a picture out from the wall and peeled a sound-sensitive membrane from the wall along with its small broadcast unit. "Cheap," said Graff, "but effective. I thought you knew." Lineberry took the device and sat down heavily at her desk. Graff led Valentine outside. They walked out into the football field, and the soldiers followed at a discreet distance. They split up and formed a large circle to guard them from the widest possible perimeter. "Valentine, we need your help for Ender." "What kind of help?" "We aren't sure of that. We need you to figure out how to help us. We need you to help us figure out how you can help us." "Well, what's wrong?" "That's part of the problem. We don't know." Valentine couldn't help but laugh. "I haven't seen him in 3 years. You got him up there with you all the time." "Valentine, it costs more money than your father will make in his lifetime for me to fly to Earth and back to the battle school again. I don't commute casually." "The king had a dream," said Valentine, "but he forgot what it was. So he told his wise men to interpret the dream or they die. Only Daniel could interpret it because he was a prophet." "You read the Bible?" "We're doing classics this year in advanced English." I'm not a prophet. I wish I could tell you everything about Ender's situation, but it would take hours, maybe days, and after I'd have to put you in protective confinement because so much of it is strictly confidential. So let's see what you can do with limited information. There's a game that our students play with the computer, and he told her about the end of the world and the closed room and the picture of Peter in the mirror. It's the computer that puts the picture there, not Ender. Why not ask the computer? The computer doesn't know. I'm supposed to know. This is the second time since Ender's been The second time since Ender's been with us that he's taken this game to a dead end, to a game that seems to have no solution. Did he solve the first one? Eventually. Then give him time. He'll probably solve this one. I'm not sure. Valentine, your brother is a very unhappy little boy. Why? I don't know. You don't know much, do you? Valentine thought for a moment that the man might get angry. Instead, though, he decided to laugh. No, not much, Valentine. Why would Ender keep seeing your brother Peter in the mirror? He shouldn't. It's stupid. Why is it stupid? Because if there's anyone who is ever the opposite of Ender, it's Peter. How? Valentine could not think of a way to answer him that wasn't dangerous. Too much questioning about Peter could lead to real trouble. Valentine knew enough about the world to know that no one would take Peter's plan for world domination seriously as a danger to existing governments, but they might well decide he was insane and needed treatment for his megalomania. You're preparing to lie to me, Colonel Graff said. I'm preparing not to talk to you anymore, Valentine answered. And you're afraid. Why are you afraid? I don't like questions about my family. Just leave my family out of this. Valentine, I'm trying to leave your family out of this. I'm coming to you so I don't have to start a battery of tests on Peter and questions with your parents. I'm trying to solve this problem now with the person Ender loves and trusts most in the world, perhaps the only person he loves and trusts at all. If we can't solve it this way, then we'll sequester your family, do as we like from then on. This is not a trivial matter, and I won't just go away. The only person Ender loves and trusts at all. She felt a deep stab of pain, of regret, of shame that it was Peter she was close to. Peter, who was the center of her life. For you, Ender, I light fires on your birthday. For Peter, I help fulfill all his dreams. I never thought you were a nice man, not when you came to take Ender away, not now. Don't pretend to be an ignorant little girl. I saw your tests when you were little, and at the present moment, there aren't very many colleges professors who could keep up with you. And Ender and Peter hate each other. I knew that. You said they were opposites. Why? Peter can be hateful sometimes. Hateful in what way? Mean, just mean, that's all. Valentine, for Ender's sake, tell me tell me what he does when he's being mean. He threatens to kill people a lot. He doesn't mean it. But when we were little, Ender and I were both afraid of him. He told us he'd kill us, actually. He told us he'd kill Ender. We monitored some of that. Is it because of the monitor? Is that all? Tell me more about Peter. So she told him about the children at every school that Peter attended. He never hit them, but he tortured them just the same, found out what they were most ashamed of and told it to the person whose respect they most wanted. Found what they most feared and made sure they faced it often. Did he do this to Ender? Valentine shook her head. Are you sure? Didn't Ender have a weak place, a thing he feared most, a thing that he was ashamed of? Ender never did anything to be ashamed of, and suddenly, deep in her own shame for having forgotten and betrayed Ender, she started to cry. Why are you crying? She shook her head. She couldn't explain what it was like to think of her little brother, who was so good, whom she protected for so long. And then remember that she was now Peter's ally, Peter's helper, Peter's slave in a scheme that was completely out of her control. Ender never surrendered to Peter, but I have become a part of him. And Ender never gave in, she said. To what? To Peter, to being like Peter. They walked in silence along the goal line. How would Ender ever be like Peter? Valentine shuddered. I already told you. But Ender never did that kind of thing. He was just a little boy. We both wanted to, though. We both wanted to kill Peter. No, that isn't true. He never said it. Ender never said that. He wanted to do that. I just thought it. It was me, not Ender. He never said that he wanted to kill him. What did he want? He just didn't want to be what? Peter tortures squirrels. He stakes them to the ground and skins them alive and watches them until they die. He did that for a while after Ender left. He doesn't do it now, but he did it. If Ender knew that, if Ender saw him, I think he'd what? Rescue the squirrels, try to heal them? No, in those days you didn't. In those days you didn't undo what Peter did. You didn't cross him, but Ender would be kind to the squirrels. Do you understand? He'd feed them, but if he fed them, they'd become tame and much easier for Peter to catch. Valentine began to cry again. No matter what you do, it always helps Peter. Everything helps Peter. Everything. You just can't get away, no matter what. Are you helping Peter? Asked Graff. She didn't answer. Is Peter such a very bad person, Valentine? She nodded. Is Peter the worst person in the world? How can he be? I don't know. He's the worst person I know. And yet you and Ender are his brother and sister. You have the same genes, the same parents. How can he be so bad? If Valentine turned and screamed at him, screamed as if he were killing her. Ender is not like Peter. He's not like Peter in any way except that he's smart, that's all. In every other way a person could possibly be like Peter, he's nothing like Peter. Nothing. I see, said Graf. I know what you're thinking, you bastard. You're thinking that I'm wrong, that Ender's like Peter. Well, maybe I'm like Peter, but Ender isn't. He isn't at all. I used to tell him that when he cried. I told him that lots of times, that you're not like Peter. You never like to hurt people. You're kind and good and not like Peter at all. And it's true. But his acquiescence calmed her. Damn right, it's true. It's true. Valentine, will you help Peter? I can't do anything for him now. It's really the same. It's really the same thing you always did before. Just comfort him, tell him that he never likes to hurt people, that it's good and kind and not like Peter at all. Oh, that is the farewell time. Okay, I love you, Kenzie. I love you very much. I'm gonna keep reading, okay? Boo.